Hey guys, Andy Prepper here. Another Cold Steel Tanto talk here on the GI Tanto. This is absolutely my favorite Tanto on the low end that Cold Steel offers. You say, well, I like Tantos for the defensive use, but I do more bushcraft, survival, that type of stuff. You know, do I want two blades or one? Well, this combines the best of both worlds. This is what Cold Steel defines as their no-nonsense Tanto, and I agree with that. This thing has lots of purposes. Does it fit all the uses of a K-bar? No, but it's a good blade for the money. Cheaper than a K-bar. Again, about the same price as most of your Cold Steel Tantos, but I think has more general purpose use. It's a lot bigger, of course, so not going to be used as a boot knife, but whatever. Let's talk about stats on this thing. As I said, no nonsense. That is exactly what this is. Grips on it, they used to come wrapped. I don't know if it was parachute cord or whatever it happened to be. Just some basic shoelace or whatever, but they eventually came out with these harder grips on it, which are quite nice. I like that a lot. What I'd probably prefer are the little Kraton rubberized grips from the Tanto Light, but you know, that's fine. These are great. Let's see, stats on this bad boy. It is 1055 carbon, unlike the other two stainless steels I talked about. From bushcraft, I think you want carbon. I think carbon's going to serve you better. Let's see, what else on this? 7-inch blade. Nice and big. Nice hefty blade on it. It's about 12 inches overall, so a foot long. Big blade. Going to get the job done for most purposes. It's 10.6 ounces overall, so relatively hefty. Going to be good for batoning, that type of stuff. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's see. Other stats on this. Very thick blade at 4 millimeters thick. See that? Don't know if you can see that on the camera particularly well. Nice and thick. A little rough on the backside, but not bad. Again, comes very, very sharp, just like the rest of the Tanto line. Nice sharp point on it, like all Tanto should have. Much thicker than your standard Tanto, but I wouldn't want to get stabbed with that. A little false edge here at the back. I wouldn't sharpen that, but you could. The integrated quillions here, the guards, are very nice. Full tang, obviously there, and a lanyard hole on the back side. One thing you could do, you could take the grips off and make this into a spear very, very easily. That's what people did with the core wrapped ones quite often. You could do that with this. You could do it with the grips on, but if you want to secure that spear shaft a little better, I'd say get the grips off of it. But this is going to be good for all sorts of purposes. It's good and thick, good and heavy. You're not going to break this thing. This is about an indestructible blade, just like the rest of the Cold Steel line. I may actually like this better for general purpose compared to the Bushman. I like the Bushman, I like the hollow handle, all that, but there's no guard on it. You got your metal grip on it, rounded. I just worry about my hand slipping up on it sometimes. I like the quillions on this. I like the fact that you got some better grip on it. I'd say for the money, I might pick this over the Bushman. Heaven forbid. That may be heresy, but, well, that's just me. Let's see here. No belly on the blade at all, like the other Cold Steel, Kobun, and the Tanto Light we talked about. But again, this is a big, heavy blade. You're going to come down on somebody with this thing. It's going to come down hard. Is this going to do some damage? Yeah, it is. Again, this also has bushcrafting options. You can baton with this very easily. Did a little bit of light batoning, a little bit of scoring on the blade there with this thing. You're not going to be able to baton the whole length out here at this end, but you wouldn't want to this end. Your false edge ends right about there, if you see that, right there. So you got about yay much blade, about half the blade that I would feel comfortable batoning with easily, and that's going to be big and wide enough to do the job there for bushcraft. Now, what's interesting here, obviously the blade does not come all the way down. You say, well, I want the blade to come all the way down. Well, maybe not for bushcraft, you don't. Grab it like this for finer work, feather sticks, all sorts of, you know, just finer style uses. It's usable for that, so that's why that's there. I think, again, could you make the blade all the way out? Yeah, but again, this is a multi-purpose survival style blade. Lanyard hole at the back, if you can see that, you know how much I like that. Now, they put a little angle on this thing on the back side, which I think is a nice little addition than just keeping it flat, because again, you could use this sort of as a coup baton, whack somebody upside the skull, catch them with a little bit more of a point there, if you will. Not as nice as the Tanto Light, but it's an option. You could do that. I wouldn't want to get hit with the back end of this thing. So, comes very, very sharp, just like the rest of the Cold Steel line. Being carbon steel, it's going to sharpen up very well overall. Got the nice coating on it for corrosion resistance, all of that. This is made in China, as it says on the blade on this end. Again, that's not a knock against it, just makes it cheaper. So, tremendous blade. Let me show you that compared to the Tanto Light. Now, I would have to say the Tanto Light is a prettier blade overall. No doubt about that. It's shiny. Shiny's good. This is a down and dirty, no-nonsense type blade. Beater blade. This is something you will beat to death and not worry about, just like the rest of the Cold Steel line. This is full tang and everything. This is fine. There's nothing wrong with this, but I'm not going to use this out in the bushcraft, in the bush, compared to that one. This is a bush blade. This is a defensive blade. This can be used as a defensive blade. So, whatever you want. Well, the sheath. Another Secure X comes standard. Love the Secure X sheaths. Can't say enough good things about these things. Like I've said before, I wish all of the Cold Steel line, especially the Bushman and some of the others, came with this. Now, what you may notice is different than the Kobun. You've got some lashing holes. You got 4 spots here. Put some straps through. So, and of course, you got your holes there, so you can secure this to just about anything. Belt loop here. Cordura, all of that. Got your snap up here. I don't think you necessarily need the snap overall, unless I was in heavy duty bush, something like that. I'll show you that in a second. Big, very big, generous belt loop or attachment point if you're going to put it on a pack, something like that, and not going to secure it down here. Now, what I really like about this, look at the back side there. You see that? It's a snap and it's Velcro. 2 options. Ultra secure. So, get your Velcro and your snap. So, that is nice. I like that a lot. Okay, I just think that's tremendously strong overall. So, anyway, put the blade here in the sheath. Again, like the rest of the Secure X's, it's secure. It's not going anywhere. So, you don't necessarily need this little snap on the upper end. If you want to, that's fine. I don't tend to carry it that way. If I carry this blade, I carry it like so. If it's against my side, it's going to hold just fine against my thigh and all that. If for some reason it was against something else, you know, if my body wasn't against it, is it going to lean out a little? Yeah, it would. That's maybe when I might need that snap on the upper end. It doesn't bother me a whole lot. Again, against my thigh, against my body, it's going to be holding just fine. I don't want to fool with that snap if I need this thing in a hurry overall. Again, this is big enough and heavy enough that if for some strange reason this thing pulls free from the Secure X sheath and then by some means happens to come all the way out and fall out, you're going to feel it. You're going to notice the weight change. So I don't worry so much about this snap. If I was doing a river crossing or something like that where I didn't want to dunk my blade in the water, kayak carry, something like that, I may use the snap. But nah, wouldn't do that for general purpose on land. But anyway, Secure X sheath, great blade. It's going to run you about 25 to maybe 30 bucks on the high end. I think I paid 26 for this and don't regret it. Love this. For a little bit more than the Cold Steel Bushman, I think you get overall, for general purposes, a better purpose blade, in my opinion. Again, I like my Cold Steel Bushmans. I'm not knocking those. But for general purpose, I like this. I just like the grips on it. I like the Quillian, the guard. I think those are tremendous options on it. Your lanyard hole, etc. Your ability to grip up on the blade for some finer work. I think this, for general bushcraft purposes and defensive stuff, is probably one of the better Cold Steel blades out there on the larger side, on the cheap. So again, 25, maybe 30 bucks on the high end. 10.6 ounces. Again, heavy, but again, you get what you pay for. So, you want a big heavy blade, you get a big heavy blade. So, you want something light, well, go for the Tanto Light, okay? Again, for cool tactical defensive use and survival bushcraft, all that, I highly recommend this. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, your comments, all that. Thanks, guys. Indie Prepper, out.